Friends, I want to welcome you out here to a dead-end road. It's an odd place to do a devotional from, I get it, but when I saw this sign, road closed, I was thinking about what dead ends we've put in our lives. The closed roads, the end of the road, if you will. What ends of the road do we put in our lives? And one of the areas that we do that so often, and often without even realizing the ramifications of it, is when it comes to forgiving others. You've maybe even thought about that before. Someone who has just done too much to create hurt in your life and the life of a loved one, maybe even just in our world in general, that we say it's the end of the road for them. Forgiveness isn't there for them anymore. Well, of course, Jesus meets us with some discomfort when it comes to that. In Luke 17, Jesus is talking to his disciples and he says this: "Things that cause people to trip and fall into sin must happen, but how terrible it is for that person through whom they happen." So in other words, how terrible for the person who causes someone to stumble. It would be better for them to be thrown into the lake with a large stone hung around their neck than to cause one of these little ones to trip and to fall into sin. In other words, Jesus isn't saying that we should throw everyone into a sea who causes someone to stumble, who sins against someone. Rather, what Jesus is doing is lifting up the seriousness of sin. And I wonder sometimes if we think about sin as being a serious thing or not. Anyway, he says, watch yourselves. If your brother or sister sins, warn them to stop. Warn them to stop. Sin is a serious thing, right? Warn them to stop. If they change their hearts and lives, forgive them. Forgive them. Even if someone sins against you, and this is where it gets really tough. Even if someone sins against you 7 times in one day and returns to you 7 times and says, "I am changing my ways," you must forgive that person. Forgiveness is something that we're told by God to offer, even when maybe it seems as though we've been down that path before and we're ready just to put up a road closed sign. Jesus reminds us that sin is a serious thing, but so is forgiveness. But forgiveness isn't an easy thing either. And forgiveness doesn't mean that we forget about it. It simply means that we're willing to walk down that path. And maybe we need to create and pave a new road for that path. We're ready to walk down that path with a person who is looking to change the way they treat others. Because sin is a serious thing. So is reconciliation. And so is grace. So is new life. And so maybe there's someone in your life today that you're struggling to forgive. Maybe they've come to you asking for forgiveness. Maybe they've tried to reconcile with you. And you're just not there yet. I get that. But I also wonder this. With each road closed sign that we erect, we make our world smaller. We take away paths that we could be walking, enjoying, discovering. And so my hope for you today, my prayer for you today, is that you'll find a space within your heart to offer forgiveness, even if it's the 7th time. And remember that when you fall short, we have a God who loves us so deeply that will offer forgiveness again and again and again, because we're not deserving of it, but we are worthy of it. Amen.